Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is me again, Insane Gorilla, and welcome back to my channel. This is What If Issei was an angel? Now, I know I haven't been doing videos for a very long time. I do apologize for that. My life is currently getting on top of me again, and I'm currently in the process of searching for a job, so that's taking up more time than, well, me doing videos, and I do apologize. But hey, I'm still doing it, don't worry. Now, the whole thing about it being an angel, well, I'll explain a lot more, hopefully, during the video itself. Just for give a quick disclaimer, if I say something that sounds religious, I do apologize. I am not a religious individual. And well, I don't get the grasp on religion that well. So, if anybody is a Catholic and they do believe in God, I do 100% apologize if I do screw something up. So, without any further ado, let's go on with the video, shall we? Properly. Kuo, a young boy, walks into the park. It has been 2 days since his best friend Irina had left to go to England. The boy was pretty much on his own. His parents couldn't come with him, mainly because, well, his mother had to go to work, and his father is currently overseas. Why? He works overseas. He's literally that man who sends the money home to try and support the family, but he's never around. And, well, Issei couldn't go to his grandparents because he doesn't have any grandparents. So he had to live on his own. His mother did try to get a babysitter, but at the end of the day, no babysitters were currently available on that day, which she found very annoying. So she had to leave to work. And, well, Issei was a smart boy. He knew how to look after himself. Mickey hated having to do this to her son, but she had no choice. It was either that or get fired. And she did need a job because she couldn't rely on Goro most of the time. So she had to work. So Issei was in the park. When he saw a woman with long golden hair and green eyes sitting on a bench. She looked like she had been crying. So he decides to walk up to her. Now, just quickly shifting the perspective for a quick second. In heaven, there was an argument between 2 angels, 2 seraphim to be precise, Sir Michael and Gabriel. Now, Michael and Gabriel were siblings, brother and sister to be precise. Gabriel, the leader of heaven, and Gabriel, a woman who is known for her purity and beauty. I'm sorry, sister, but we cannot. What do you mean you cannot? Children are being kidnapped and being turned into something, and you're not doing anything. Even Raphael and Uriel are not thinking about it. Sister, I know you want to go and investigate, but we have nobody. Even the exorcists that we know of can't go and search because they don't know where to begin. And we've given them plenty of locations. But every time they go there, there's nothing. They're just not looking hard enough. I know we are being stretched thin here, but this is my final decision. I'm sorry, but I cannot. Unless some true evidence pops up to show where they're going with these children, we can't follow them. I'm sorry, but this is my final decision. Please drop it. Gabriel storms out, her tears starting to fall. She knows the exorcists are not at fault. She knows her brother isn't at fault. She's to blame. Because she can't be fast enough. She teleports, wearing a beautiful silken dress that doesn't do anything to hide her figure. She had teleported and walked into a park where she could just sit down and sob about her failings until she felt a small hand touch her arm. She jolts and looks down to see a brown-haired boy with a sort of confused look. "Are you okay?" he would ask. The woman would just pull him into a hug and just sob. Issei stiffens because a stranger just pulled him into a hug and was just sobbing. He just lets her sob. She just sobbed and sobbed and started whispering about how she keeps on failing. Issei doesn't know what's going on, but he listens. He lets her vent. He finds out that she is someone who's been searching for some kidnapped children of his age. Issei didn't know that people were being kidnapped around about his age. Then the sky turns dark. Suddenly, the woman's eyes shoot open. "Magic," she would whisper. Issei would look around, wondering why everybody was now no longer there. Laughter. And out of the smog that started to appear, stepped a group of individuals with robes covering their heads. All you could see were sinister smiles. "It looks like we got another problem, people," one of them would say. "It appears we have a seraphim." Gabriel flinches, wondering how they knew. Issei stood in front of her, saying, "You will not harm her." Gabriel's eyes widen in shock. This young boy barely even knew her and was already standing in front of her to defend her. One of the people in robes would snort. "And what's a pipsqueak like you gonna do?" "Oh well, you're a target anyway. Just dealing with a seraphim would be even better. Two of you, take the boy. The rest of us, deal with Gabriel. She's the bigger threat around here." Gabriel grabs hold of the boy and pulls him into her for protection. Her golden wings flutter out. Issei's shock turns into fascination as he sees golden feathers. He looks behind to see the golden wings, a halo forming above Gabriel's head, her body being covered in some armor to prove that she is battle ready. "So you're the ones kidnapping children?" "Of course we are. After all, the three big factions need to go. along with the rest of your supernatural ilk. You're part of the magician faction. Oh, please. Those cowards wouldn't even know what to do. Chaos Brigade? Oh, please, they're just nothing but a bunch of terrorisms. Or terrorists. No. We are the Holy Crusaders. All of them throw off their cloaks, revealing crosses of Templars. You're part of the church. All of them would look at each other and scoff. Part of your religious faction? No. All of them pull out blades. Blades that were both holy and corrupt at the same time. The leader raises a sword. You and your supernatural ilk are nothing more than a disease. A disease that we, of the Holy Order, will cleanse from our pure world. And anyone who is remotely involved in your ilk will be cleansed by our blade. Even if we're just in passing, anyone who passes your supernatural ilk are corrupted, unclean, and you will die, along with every single supernatural being, yokai and dragon alike. You're insane. We are not insane. We're puritists. The people charge. Gabriel unleashes her power just to defend Issei. The battle goes shortly, really. These crusaders were immensely strong and persistent. They knew how to kill, and they were aiming for kill spots. How did you know how to use magic? None of your concern. The leader clearly would swing a sword. Gabriel would duck and drop to the floor and then quickly spin and kick him straight in the jaw, sending him backwards. As she gets up off the floor, her wings fan out. Her feathers become projectiles, but they hold up shields as her feathers just bounce off. She lands and her feathers quickly regrow. She looks at them and frowns. Those shields, those are from the ancient times. Ancient times, reforged to modern specifications. Their charge one more time. Gabriel got overwhelmed. This time, a slash cut across her shoulder. She hisses and backs off. Another one stabs her in the left leg. She screams and hollers in pain. The one who did it punches her in the side of the head. Gabriel stumbles and falls, coughing. That punch was stronger than she anticipated. Another one slashes her back, nicking one of her wings but not severing it. She cries in agony. She uppercuts the man, but all he does was stagger back. He then headbutted her back down to the ground. A sword came down to take her head off. only for a young boy to get in the way, holding out his arms. A slash across the chest. The boy fell. Gabriel screams no. The man showed no remorse. Corrupted. So badly corrupted he would freely throw himself in front of an impure being. Gabriel would gently take the boy in her arms. He was clearly dying. Her eyes watered. She failed again. She failed to save a child. This child was right in front of her. And she couldn't save him. Her rage takes over. Once she finally stood, her eyes were glowing gold. Now Seraphim can fall, but Gabriel was in a righteous rage, as she was more motherly towards everybody. And right now a child had just been killed right in front of her eyes. Her womanly fury had just been unleashed. Her power skyrocketed, dwarfing Sir Awful Leviathan, or commonly known as Seraphul Citri, the Satan of commerce and negotiations and all that. Gabriel's power dwarfs even hers when she's finally letting her rage and motherly instincts take over. The Crusaders take one step back. There it is, the leader would say. The creature behind it all. Do not take one step back. She's going to be reckless. And that's how we kill her. All of them charge. Gabriel claps her hands together. A sonic boom pushes them back again. Gabriel slowly pulls her hands apart. A sword starts to emerge. Once her hands were fully spread, she gripped the hilt. She looked at these people, these animals, the ones who'd kill just because they want to have purity in a world that was created by all of the gods. She raises her sword, then slowly puts it to her side. You will pay for this. I am Gabriel, daughter of God, and I will slaughter you for what you have done in front of my presence. She charges. They charge back at her, but she vanishes when one of them swings to take her head off. Where did she? His head flies off. Behind him, Gabriel swings her blade, wiping the blood off. She turns and disappears. One of them blocks her attack, but then she kicks the shield out of his hands. What the? And cuts him clean down the middle. She spins and cuts one clean in half again. She then spins as one blocks her shield, or blocks her sword strike with a shield, as one actually attacks her from the side. She deflects and kicks the shield bearer away, as the one with the raised arm slides back, as she had also kicked him. As he slid, his blade hit the ground as he stabilized. His shield arm was to the side. He then coughs out blood as Gabriel had pierced him with her own sword straight through his chest. She twisted and yanked it out. He fell. The remaining Crusaders got ready for a full-out fight. Gabriel didn't hesitate. She disappeared. One lost his arm, then his legs, then he lost his head. His screams of terror and pain were audible just for a second. The next, he got cut into several pieces. The last had his whole skull ripped out of his head by Gabriel's hands. The man collapsed, dead. This just left the leader and Gabriel. The leader was not afraid. In fact, he looked like he was chanting righteous hymns. Gabriel attacked him. He blocked her easily. Your rage makes you weak. My rage gives me the reason to keep going. Their blades clash. The leader of this rabble easily counters, slashing across her stomach. Not enough to leave permanent damage, but enough to start bleeding. She cuts him across the shoulder. He doesn't even flinch. He cuts her across the chest. Her armor shatters from the strike, and her cloths underneath flop off, exposing her bountiful chest. Her rage skyrockets again. For this person had dared cut her clothing just to expose her like that. Unholy creature, I'll purge you from this world. She rapidly attacks. He dodges and deflects easily again, smiling, seeing how reckless she had become. He slashed. She blocked, then grabbed the sword. As he tried to yank it away to cut her fingers off, he couldn't. What the? She held on to his blade so hard it cracked. Do you really think I'll let that blade touch me again? She then yanks it out of his hand. He then pulls out a dagger and just about to stab her when her sword comes down and cuts both of his hands off. The man screams in anger. He flings his arms up. Gabriel moves her head away to avoid getting her eyes caked in blood. The man runs. Just when he was about to get out, Gabriel's sword pierces him through the chest and pins him against the wall. Is all she could hear. Her heartbeat, her rage, all of it slowly dies. She looks at the dead bodies. Her eyes water as she's realized she is killed. She looks at her wings. They had flickered, but not because of her rage or sadistic tendency this time. Just purely out of spite. She knew it. She desummoned her sword. The Crusader's body slowly slid down the wall, a trail of blood following. Gabriel ran up to Issei, snapping her fingers as her dress repairs itself putting her exposed bosom behind some cloth, so she wasn't exposing herself. She kneels down. 2 fingers go to the boy's neck. Yeah. As I was saying, sorry about that. Gabriel holds Issei. His body wasn't cooled yet, so he wasn't fully dead. Gabriel summons her cards. She'd already given her Ace of Hearts to, well, quarter one of her strongest angels and her only angel. She had the king to herself, considering she was the ruler of this little thing. She checks to see which one would be suitable for little Issei. She read his mind, so she knows who he is. She then feels one of the cards pulsing. She looks at it and was surprised. She picked it up. I would have thought it would have been a joker. She puts the card flat on Issei's flesh and begins chanting in heaven's name. I, Gabriel, summon you, Issei Hyono, from the afterlife. Arise and relive your life. Arise as my blank. I'm going to leave that for you all to find out. After she had chanted, she saw Issei develop 2 white wings. Gabriel smiles. She gently takes him in her arms and flies away. In heaven, things were a bit unusual. Gabriel had brought home a young boy with the power of heaven, and she had put him in her room, in her personal quarters. Michael, Raphael, and Dulio had walked in. They looked at the boy, then looked at Gabriel, who was holding his hand gently. Michael, so let me get this straight. The people who are kidnapping children were doing this to raise possibly an army against every supernatural faction. Yes, that is what I could get the gist of. They call themselves the Holy Crusaders. The Holy Crusaders were part of the Catholic Church. They claim to not follow it. This changes everything. Now we know who we're looking for. Raphael, Dulio? Raphael. Yeah, we can start searching. I don't know how good we'll be, but we can start searching now. Dulio. I may be scoffing my mouth all the time, but even I'll start looking. And besides, I'll see what I can find out about the kid. Hopefully, when he wakes up, we can get him back to his true mother before she starts worrying. Just remember, Gabriel, he may be a part of your group now, but you really do need to start teaching him. I'm sure all of us will help out. Now, I don't know about Michael, but I'll do my best. Just remember, I am still the leader of heaven, so I've still got to look after the system. I know. Just try not to get anything too muddled up. Like the first few years when you took over. That was the one time, okay? That was just once. And I do regret doing that and overlooking it. Yeah, that's why you don't overlook shit. Anyway, sorry about that. All of her brothers leave, having a little argument. Gabriel rolls her eyes. Her brothers can be so childish. She looks down at issei and holds his hands. She then clicks her fingers, gets into her nightgown, and, well, joins him in bed in order to heal him purely. As she healed him, well, issei just snuggled into her, subconsciously not knowing who it is that he's snuggling into. When he woke up, he found himself in a strange place. He sat up, smelling some food being cooked. When he looked around, everything was pure and beautiful. Where am I? He would whisper. He'd hear somebody humming as they walk around the corner. He notices that it was the pretty lady who hugged him in the park. Lady, where am I? Gabriel squeaked in surprise, not realizing that he was awake. And her squeak kind of made her cheeks go pink. She wasn't really expecting him to startle her like that. She looked at him with slight surprise and a bit of embarrassment. Oh, hi. I didn't realize you were awake, she says sheepishly. Issei just looks at her with that, no, really look. Gabriel coughs and clears her throat. Sorry, hi, I'm Gabriel, Seraphim of Heaven. Oh, I'm dead, Issei would say, looking down. You're not dead. Not anymore. Issei looks up at her, raising an eyebrow. Gabriel scratches the side of her neck. There was something. Do you remember what happened? Issei shook his head. I don't remember much. Just standing in front of you from a bunch of people defending you. That's all. Then I just threw myself in front of a blade coming down to kill you in darkness. Then I woke up here. Right. You were killed by that sword strike. Issei looks at her, confused. But if I'm alive... Gabriel raises a hand. It's because I brought you back to life. Up here in heaven, we have a system that helps bring people back to life. But in the process, they are bound to the one who brought them back. I was so ashamed that I was the cause of your death. I brought you back as one of my cards. She unfolds all of the cards in her deck as they are all shown. 2 were inactive. Well, 3 of them were inactive. One of them was the king, and one of them was the ace of hearts. Why are 3 of them inactive? Because the one that you are is this one. She points to the one that issei is. Oh, I'm... Okay. So that means what? You're higher on the food chain than the ace of hearts. But the Ace of Hearts is also one of the strongest. So, just because you are this one doesn't mean that you're inertly even stronger than the Ace. The Ace is a very incredible woman and also incredibly strong. Cool, I guess? I'm completely confused. What makes her so strong? She's the strongest woman and also the strongest exorcist. Now, I bet you're hungry, and I have made some food. Issei gets out of bed, unknowingly letting his wings out as he flaps and flies. Whoa! He would yell. Gabriel would look around the corner, watching him smack his head. She would hold her hand up to her mouth and giggle, seeing his confused and outright miffed confusion. Okay, who's holding me? Let go! Gabriel walked up to him, smiles, and grabs him. Look at me. Issei does. Focus on putting your feet on the ground. Issei does. Drops and smacks into the floor. Gabriel winces, hearing the bang. Ooh, that's going to leave a mark. Issei gets up, brushes himself off, wondering why somebody just dropped him, not realizing the wings on his back. There, better? Better. Although I wish to know who was holding me. Nobody was holding you. Then why was I flying? Gabriel made a magic circle, showing the backside of Issei. Issei saw two white fluffy wings, gently fluttering as they slowly fold onto his back. He reaches behind himself, grabs hold of one, pulls it. Ow! Yeah, don't try and pull it upwards. They're attached to you now. She gently rubs his head, smiling as the halo above his head shows. Gabriel allows her her 10 golden wings to appear. How come mine are white and yours are golden? Gabriel smiles and kneels. That's because I am a seraphim, one of the strongest and one of the highest levels of angel. Don't worry. You'll reach this height one day. You won't be a true seraphim, but you'll have 10 white wings. Issei nods. Now, let's eat, and I'll start teaching. Time would pass. After eating, Issei would start learning from Gabriel about heaven's system, the war, God's unfortunate demise. That word of God's demise did make Issei a little bit upset. He remembers his best friend, Arena, believing heavily in God. He knows that his friend would be crushed if they ever heard. Well, he believes Irene is a guy, so he believes that his friend was gonna be crushed if he ever heard that God was, dead. And Gabriel had taught him as much as she could. But when Issei said that his mum could be home any time, Gabriel smiled, clicked her fingers, both teleported to an alleyway near Issei's home. Gabriel could sense Issei's mother was nowhere nearby just yet. So she walked Issei into his house. She saw how sparkly and clean it was. She looked down at Issei. Issei shrugs and says, Mum and I do a lot of cleaning to keep things nice and tidy. Gabriel smiles, gently rubs Issei's head again. You're going to make some people very happy, you know. Issei just shrugs. Gabriel then starts helping him out with some homework. When Mickey Haidu arrives, she walks in, rubbing the back of her neck. Tired and exhausted, grumbling about arsehole co-workers. When she hears light laughter, she freezes. That was an older woman's voice laughing. She runs around the corner screaming, Issei! Only to catch the most beautiful woman sitting next to her son, pointing out a few things as both of them looked up. Her green eyes met Mickey's. Gabriel smiles and slowly gets up. Greetings, madam. My name is Gabriel. I know, it's a bit weird of a name, but I did find your son walking around the streets earlier today. And as a servant of God, I could not leave an innocent child to wander the streets alone. I asked him where you were. He said that you had a meeting and that his father was nowhere to be found because he's in a different country and can never come back here for the time being. So I took it upon myself to look after him until you returned. Gabriel said it in such a soft, caring tone that she even used a bit of magic to kind of smooth it over with Mickey's mind, so she was okay with it. Mickey's eyes narrow. What kind of crap did you just try to pull on me? Gabriel's eyes blink. This mortal was actually quite strong. Mickey then launched out her hand to the side as a silver spear appeared. She then spun it around, getting in between Gabriel and Issei. Mom? You're a magician? No, I'm not. Out of her back, silver wings appeared. Wait, you're a sentinel? You're a sentinel angel? How do you know? Gabriel unleashes her golden wings. Mickey's eyes widen in shock. She immediately dropped the spear and got on her knees. Lady Gabriel, I'm so sorry. I should have clicked. Sorry. Oh, God, forgive me. Mom, you're... Mickey looked over to her son, an apologetic look. I'm sorry, my boy. I should have told you, but supernatural beings attract enemies. Yes, I know. We recently were accosted by some. Mickey's eyes widen in shock. Oh, God. Please tell me. I failed to keep your son safe. He's now a part of my deck. Mickey's heart sinks. Oh, God damn it. God damn me to hell and back. She turns to Issei, getting up and hugging him. Oh, I'm so sorry, Issei. I'm so sorry. Issei just hugs her, wondering why she never told him. Lady Gabriel, sorry for my reaction. She gently puts Issei on the tabletop. Issei, this is something I did to you long ago when you were born. This was 6 years ago when you were just a toddler. I did it for your own protection. Mickey taps his head with 2 fingers. Mom, why did you? Issei falls forward. Mickey holds him as several silver wings emerge. He's stronger than I am. I'm only 2-winged. He's 4-winged. And with the 2 white wings on his back, he's a lot stronger than me. By a country mile. Gabriel was shocked. The sentinel angels, the angels that her father had personally made to be not only the guardians of heaven, but the strongest frontline fighters above the regular angels. Michael, herself, Dulio, and Raphael had all been trying to figure out how to make some sentinel angels themselves, so they could try and hopefully bolster a bit more of their forces. Hell, even Azazel had actually tried to help, because he had always found the Sentinels amazing. Because not only were they the strongest, but they were also the kindest individuals around. They were virtually indestructible, well, incorruptible. So incorruptible that it's virtually impossible to see one of them fall. But the Great War cut them all down. Everybody was wondering why. Why was... Well, all of the heaven's angels were wondering how the hell did all of the the sentinel angels die. They all died during the Great War. But hey. While Issei was asleep, Mickey sat down with Gabriel. She folded her arms underneath her own bust. Now that she had dropped her own disguise, she was just as beautiful as Gabriel, with a much bigger bust and a lot more smoother features, but a warrior's demeanor. So, where did you meet? We met in the park nearby. I see. And those warriors, the ones you told me about, they're dead. I understand. God, I have failed as a mother. After all of my fellow comrades were slaughtered during the Great War, I just left. So broken up about all of their deaths. I went to find God to see if I could leave after this Great War. I only to see him die at the hands of those 2 dragons. Both of them were idiots for getting into a fight. Do you even know what the fight was about? Mickey would just chuckle. Who would be the strongest female heavenly dragon? Seriously? Yes, Dragon Albion were both having a fight about who was the strongest. Would you believe me if I said that both of them were just doing this because 1, they wanted to be the strongest, and 2, they were trying to prove that they were the strongest to a male dragon trying to have a clutch of eggs. So basically they were too horny for their own good. Yeah, pretty much. I heard this out of their own sacred gears before they disappeared. I see. Well, at least I now know why the two heavenly dragons attacked. Yeah, trust me. It was funny when I heard about it. Sorry about that. So, what now? Now that my son's part of your deck, I could always put you a part of my deck too, you know. You could come back to being the Sentinel of Heaven again. I would love to, but what about Goro? My husband. I can't just say, oh, hey, look, I'm an angel from heaven. Sorry for lying to you. I've lived with him for so long. For like 20 years. Or not 20. For like, I don't know, 8 years? When he proposed, I told him I was pregnant with his child. We got married 9 months later. And after those during those 9 months, when we kissed, I went into labour. He was married on our wedding day. I can't just tell Goro, hey, look, I lied to you, I'm an angel. And now I'm going back up to heaven, so I'll never see you again. Perhaps we can make a compromise. Perhaps. God, I hope so. After a week, her phone starts ringing. She answers it. Hello? Goro? Okay. Okay. I get it. Okay. She hangs up. She cries. What happened? Goro. He's leaving me. Why? Because someone told him I'm an actual angel and showed him a picture, a live feed of my wings popping out. He says he can't be with a liar. He loved me once, but he doesn't think he can love me after this big of a lie that I have been giving him. Damn those crusaders. Did he say anything else? He said he does love me, he really does. And he honestly hoped it wasn't true. Until he can figure things out, he can't stay with me. Or issei. I think I'll come to heaven now. Both of them leave. Issei wakes up again in heaven, wondering why he's no longer down on Earth. When Mickey tells him why, he was saddened that his dad left them. And even he says those crusaders, they move way too quickly. Mickey nods, along with Gabriel. But for the next, couple of years, Issei would be trained. He'd become quite competent. He would have two sets of white wings and 4 sets of silver wings. But that's all that he would remain at. He'd made a few friends, especially with Raphael, Dulio, and with Michael. They all saw him as a younger brother, something that everybody was finding quite funny, actually. The youngest of the seraphim, that wasn't a true seraphim, could talk to the archangels or the seraphim as if they were old friends. And when they saw that there was a silver-winged angel, a sentinel angel, once again flying among them, hope rose in their bodies, hoping that this silver angel could help them discover the secrets to making silver angels, so more sentinel angels can be trained. Mickey refused, saying even she doesn't know how she was created. So that put a dampener on everybody's mood, but they perked up seeing her son, seeing the 4 silver wings on his back, indicating that he's stronger than his mother, along with a single pair of white wings. As Issei grew and grew, he became quite the strong young man. Intelligent, a little bit cheeky, but that was because of Dulio having a cheeky nature to him. He got close to Gabriel. Gabriel and him began having quite a close relationship as they worked closely together. He was her shadow. Wherever she walked to do some business, he walked behind her. And when he was 10 years old, silver armor started appearing on his body. It was the armored corset, or the armored armor for silver angels that can be made through their energy, and it's virtually indestructible. So how the silver angels died, nobody still knows. Maybe they were taken off guard when their armor was off. Nobody knows. After a while, Issei continued to grow until he was 16. He had completed over 178 missions over the years. Some failed, some succeeded, but all missions were successful when it came to getting them done quickly. Some important ones too. Everything was a learning curve for Issei. From failure... Sorry about that. From failure to success. Everything Issei used as a training manifest. Even when he got his second pair of white wings. Through contracts and through good deeds. Issei up in heaven, now 16 years old, walks up to his king's office. He knocks. Door's open, Issei. Issei would open the door as he'd walk in. As he sees Grizel Quarter sitting in a chair. Lady Grizel Quarter. She brings down the cup of tea from her lips. Issei heard her. She smiles, putting her teacup down and standing up. She finally walks up to him as he stands directly her head height now. Look at you, Sprout. You actually got some muscle on you finally. Ha ha ha, very funny. I know damn well that you're just going to beat the hell out of me whenever you get the chance. Ah, you know me too well. Gabriel would say, giving her ace a stern look. All right. I'll give up. will you stop making such a loud racket when you scratch, dog? Sorry about that. With Grizel Quarter backing off, Gabriel coughs into her hand. All right. There is a mission I have for you, issei. A mission? For me? Alone? Your mother's going with you, don't worry about it. Looks like you can't get rid of your mother, huh? I wouldn't for the world of me. Good man. Stop doing that. What? Stop hitting me on the chest. Both of you knock it off. Grizel chuckles, as she loves annoying issei by hitting him in the chest. It was always gentle, but it makes a noise that just really aggravates him. Issei sits down with Grizel Quarter, both of them looking at Gabriel. She looks at them both sternly, especially at Quarter, just in case she tries to make another annoying movement to pat her issei on the chest. She pauses, her own mind screeching to a halt. When did issei become her issei? She inwardly shakes her head, wondering why she thought about him like that. She coughs and gets back to it. Yes, you and your mother are going back down to Kuo. Huh. Haven't been there since I was 6. I wonder what's new down there. That's something you'll possibly find out soon. Anyway, I hope you enjoy, because your mission is to go into Kuo Academy. It used to be an all-girls school, but now it's a co-ed school. Co-ed? That's a bit odd. I thought that school was going to remain as an all-female school. Apparently it was, but in recent years, movements have been made to turn it into into a co-ed school. So males are now being permitted in. And I've managed to get you a position in the school itself. You'll be starting as a second year, considering you're 16. Okay. Don't see how bad this can go. You're also going into devil territory. The Grimmery clan and the Citri clan have sway over the town. For how long? Long enough that you and your mother didn't even notice that you were in their territory. Issei looked to Grizel Quarter, who looked at him with a shrug of her arms. Don't look at me, I'm not your mother. Did you even know about this? Well, yeah, I knew about it. I thought you already knew. I thought Gabriel told you. No, this is the first I'm hearing about it. Huh. What do you know? Gabriel sheepishly scratches the back of her head. Sorry. Grizel shakes her head. You, Missy, are definitely going to cause trouble. Gabriel shrinks slightly, a sheepish blush on her face. Getting called out by her ace was always going to be a bit of trouble. She coughs again. Anyway, issei, are you willing to take this job? I'm willing. I'm able. Got plenty of things that I need to do that I can also do down there, so when do I leave? In 24 hours. You have plenty of time to quickly pack some stuff. You're going to your old homestead? Right. Don't worry, your father's not there. He's still over in America. Still hasn't gone over the fact that my mother betrayed him like that. She was trying to keep him safe. I know, I know. I can't help but think those crusaders got so deep into his head that he's actually part of them now. I do want my dad back. I know, I know. But anyway, get going. As you wish, my queen. As you wish, my king. Issei gets up, bows to Gabriel, bows to Gazelle Quarter, turns around and walks out of the office and softly clicks the door. Gazelle looks at Gabriel and frowns. You didn't tell him, did you? No, I didn't know how to. Gabriel, look, I'll tell him, okay? I just don't know how to. Ever thought just, I don't know, just saying it? Saying what? Oh, by the way, Issei, I'm fully in love with you, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you? No, I'm his king. What is he going to think about that? Wow, you really have fallen for him. I don't know if I've fallen for him in love, or the fact I've fallen for him because he's the only guy I can see myself with. Hell, he's a healthy young male, and been raising him with his mother. I should feel like he's like a second, like he's actually like I don't know. I feel like I should be his second mother. I feel like a schoolgirl with a crush. Does do your brothers know about this? No, I've kept it a secret. Oh, I feel so stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. Calm down, Gabriel. I'm pretty sure he feels the same way. How would you know? I don't know. Womanly instinct. Speaking of things like that, how's your apprentice doing? Zenobia? She's doing good. Her and Irina are pretty close. You haven't told him about her real gender, have you? No, because I want to see his reaction. Gazelle! What? It's funny teasing the boy. And it's funny to see you react like that too. Sometimes I wonder why I made you my ace instead of my joker. Mainly because the ace was shining for me. And come on, I'm the strongest. And you can admit I'm that strong. Anyway, I gotta go back to Italy. Something off happened recently. What do you mean? A holy nun by the name of Asia Argento was recently kicked out of the Vatican. Asia Argento. Wasn't she the one with Twilight healing? Yes. All because she healed a devil, because she was taught to save anybody who was injured. The Vatican kicked her out and called her a witch and heretic. I know zealotry can be sometimes a good thing, but just telling someone off and saying just check the signs if they're a devil or not, because devils are bad along with the fallen angels. But she's as soft as anything, and she's a holy nun, and she was a holy nun. And holy nuns don't care if you're evil or not. If you need healing, they will heal you. It's common sense, especially for a young girl like her. Track her down and bring her to me. I want to talk to her personally. I want to find out what happened. As you wish, Lady Gabriel. Should I tell Zenobia? Tell her that there's a former holy nun that needs to be protected. Give her the name and tell her to protect her. Say that Gabriel had, well, the higher ups had ordered it, and it's higher up than the Vatican. Give a little hint that it comes from the angels. As you wish, my lady. Retail Quarter disappears in a magic circle. A cross of light, then poof. Gabriel leans back in her chair. What an exhausting day. And it's only 10 p.m. 10 a.m. She bangs her head against the table. And I got that stupid meeting to go to. She gets dressed in a proper attire as she heads off. Kuo Town. Sorry about that. Issei had just finished putting his old room together again, putting up posters of some bands he listens to, one being Sabaton, and another being Badger Sounds, which, by the way, if you haven't listened to the band, they do Deep Down We Go, and Freya and Dig Dig. Trust me, those are 3 very good songs. I highly do recommend you go to watch the videos. In fact, I'll quickly pull up. There you go. If you look down, you see the name. Badger Sounds. Go and listen to their songs. They are pretty good, especially the 3 songs I have just called out. Next band, Skillet and Skrillex. He also taken up the practice of swordplay, and he likes listening to those the songs from those specific groups as he practices. Hell, he had even participated in a few tournaments, as he's gotten several, well, several rewards and several medals, including quite a few trophies. Issei walks downstairs, his wings unfurled and unhidden as the curtains were drawn as it was night time. So, home sweet home. Must admit, Gabriel must have kept this place in peak condition. Peak condition, my ass. You don't sound too happy to be here, Mother. It's not the fact that I'm unhappy, it's the fact that I only wish your father was here with us. I just want him back in my life. But he's divorced me and married in America. Issei hugs his mother. She deeply cared for Goro. But with her hiding that secret for so long, Goro just couldn't trust her anymore. Gods, he tried to trust her again. But in the end, he just couldn't. He divorced her and within a year or 2 was remarried and had another, and had kids. He had triplets with another woman. And she had no supernatural, origins whatsoever. And hell, Goro didn't even ask if she was, considering he got told and asked to never say anything about the supernatural. Nobody needs to know that the supernatural even exists. That's the one thing he was actually going to keep his guns on, because he wasn't going to talk about it. Issei sat down. He checked social media. He looked up his father's account. He saw, well, several children. 2 girls and 1 boy. They were 6 and, well, 6 and 5 years old. No, 6 and 5 years old. Yeah, 6 and 5 years old. Sorry, got my numbers mixed up. Well, at least he's happy. That's all we can say. He showed her the image. Goro with his new wife. 3 children. 2 girls, 1 boy. The boy's called Adam. Well, one of the girls is called Eve, and the other one is called Rebecca. All of them were smiling as they were at a park. Mishi felt her heart twist with sadness. That used to be her and Goro with their little boy. Issei pulled the phone away and turned it off. I'm going to bed. Gonna need to be up in the morning. Very well. In the morning, Issei got up, practiced a bit, made himself some breakfast and some lunch. He then started walking. The girls at Kuo saw him, and some were immediately swooning out of how beautiful he is. He could feel the devil's presence. He could feel the Bale clan's destructive power and the Citri's ice magic. So 2 heiresses were here. He now needed to keep his wits about him. The 2 heiresses could either be hostile or friendly. He hoped they were friendly. He didn't want to accidentally start a new war for being in their territory. He walked to the student council room. He found out that Sona Citri was the council president. A stern girl with violet eyes and glasses. He got his rota. The necklace of holiness, well, aka the cross, was dangling from his chest. Well, from a necklace around his neck. Sona wanted to flinch from the power that it was holding. Issei put it underneath his t-shirt. The holiness was dimmed, but not enough to suppress it. But it did make it easier for Sona to talk to him. He bowed and walked off. He was in Class 2A, or Class CA, or C1, sorry. He walked in after the teacher called him in, wrote his name up. He bowed and asked them to look after him. Of course, the questions came. One of the boys asked if, well, he's virtually a pervert like they are. Issei looked at the boy with disgust and said, I respect women's boundaries. And if I catch any of you boys spying on girls, I will make your punishment so terrible that you would wish you never came here. The boys gulped. The girls sighed. Having someone so protective over their modesty. The girls all glared at Murahama and Mitsuda, being the 2 biggest perverts around. One of the girls, Miriyama, would raise her hand, asking if he has a girlfriend. Issei chuckles as he thinks of Gabriel. I do not have a girlfriend, but I do have an older sister figure. The boys' ears perk up, and she is very, very beautiful. If any guy tries to date her, however, they're going to have to get through me. And trust me, no one has ever tried to get through me to try and be with her, because I am quite strong. And I do not like perverts who try it. Looking directly at Motohama and Mitsuda, both boys flinch and shrink. Issei steps past all of the desks. Most of the girls were fluttering their eyes at him, trying to get him to crouch down and talk to them. Some of them were just trying to, well, make him flustered. Others were trying to seduce him. Issei sits behind a boy with a mole underneath his right eye, and with blonde hair and blue eyes. He smiles and says his name is Kiba, and he even says his name sheepishly, the so-called Prince of Kuo. Issei chuckles and says, Issei Hyodo. And I'm guessing you are, or used to be part of the Kendo Club. Kiba looked at him surprised. Yes, I was. Why? How did you know? I'm a Kendo man myself, and I've been in quite a few tournaments. We've actually faced off against each other. Kiba actually looks at him, along with all of the Kendo girls who were actually in the class, which is only around about like 5 of them. Look at Issei shocked that him and the Prince of Kuo have faced off in Kendo tournaments. Kiba smiles. So you're the one who beats me so often. Issei chuckles. I hope that's not a problem. Kiba laughs and smacks his leg in amusement. No problem at all. It was actually quite fun facing off against someone who was actually a lot more skilled than I was. You actually taught me a few lessons those days. Kiba turned around with a smile, finally seeing the person and now knowing the name and the face of the person who had been soundly kicking his butt in the tournaments. Issei and Kiba started a very good friendship, although both knew that each of them was a supernatural being now. Issei knew that Kiba was a devil, and Kiba knew that he was facing someone with holy power. But that didn't stop them both from being friendly to each other. When Issei reported this to his mother, she was telling him calmly to please, please, please be careful. And Kiba reported his findings to Rias. Rias was concerned. A holy being coming to her school and heaven did not tell her? This could be an act of war, or this is just someone wanting to come to devil territory to learn. Either or, she's not happy. She stands up. Kiba, in a couple of days' time, I want you to bring him to me. I want to see if he's truly a threat or not. Of course, Butcher. And of course, Rainier tries her whole I like you thing, Issei, and will you go out with me? When Issei hears that, he could feel her malicious intent. He frowned. He clicked his fingers as a small barrier appeared around them both, making it look like they're just talking. Her eyes widen, seeing the barrier. She looks at him in shock and hatred. How did you know? She would hiss, going into her full, the fallen angel, her true form. Issei goes into his. His armor appears around him, a halo above his head, and two sets of white wings and two sets of silver wings. Rainier shrieks in fear, backing up majorly. You're a sentinel? Yes. Tell your compatriots to get out of this territory. This is devil territory. I am here to learn, and I will not hesitate to destroy you. A large sword appears. Issei grabs the hilt and holds it like it was a weapon of mass destruction with both hands. He readies himself. Rainier scrambles back and teleports away. Issei drops out of that form, clicks his fingers again. Anybody around would just think that the girl was embarrassed and ran off. Issei turned around and just about to walk when he stops. You can come out of the bushes. I know you're there. A girl with white hair, a cat clip, and the Kuro girl's school uniform would walk out sucking on a lollipop. You're strong, even I can tell, she would say. No emotion at all. And what would a little kitty cat like you be doing out here? Wouldn't your master be a little bit suspicious? Kaneko would look at him. Don't cause any trouble in our territory. Wasn't planning on it. Tell your master if she doesn't deal with the fallen angels, I will. He walks away. Kaneko runs back. And that's actually where I'm ending it, people. I hope you all like, comment, and subscribe. Peace.